Hello, continuing our shoulder series, we have today, as promised, alternatives to the shoulder press. So this is if you're just looking for variety, if you're looking for something new, or you're working around an injury and you're looking for different rehab ideas. We have an absolute ton to go through today. The shoulder is such a versatile joint, there is just so many that we could go through. We've even got alternatives of the alternatives. I'm pretty sure there's one on this list that you wouldn't have tried, or if you have tried them, it's one you would have forgotten about. So let's run through them. First is the front raise. Now you have many options of how you're going to do this. You've got the dumbbell version, you can do it with a barbell, you can do it with cables, and you can do this single arm, you can do it double arm. There's so many varieties, but a lot of it is all going to do the same thing. So really mix it up and pick your preference with which one you want to do. Whether deciding whether to do it with dumbbells or cables or bands, with any of these or machines, a lot of the time it will change how it feels and it will change the force around the shoulder. So dumbbells, you're going to have a different force kind of at the top, whereas a cable, the force will be the same the whole way through, for example. So a lot of the time you might just want to mix it up anyway, even doing the same kind of movement. A good variation of the front raise is the plate raise. This is where you're raising a gym plate up, and with it you can add in turns and directions. You can just do it straight forward, but it's a nice little addition that you can use as well. You can also do this so it's incorporating the chest, so you're pressing this together as you're lifting it up. Next up is the lateral raise. You can do this with dumbbells, you can do it with cables, you can do it with a machine, you can do it with kettlebells. There's so many variations of how you want to do it. It's really what equipment you've got access to that'll likely guide where you go with this one. A lot of the time you'll be told with this, especially with the dumbbell variation, to almost at the top of the movement make out that you're tipping water out of a jug to get that angle of the shoulder, whereas really that's not the best position for the shoulder to be in. You're actually better really bringing it out a little bit the other side, just because that'll open a lot more space within the joint. Next is a scaption raise, but you're doing the same thing but in the line of the scapula. So it's kind of a half and half between a front raise and a lateral raise. Again, dumbbells, cables, whatever your preference might be. Next is rear delt flies, hitting the posterior head of the deltoid. This, again, dumbbells you can do it with. You can do it with cables, you can do it with bands. Again, it's personal preference and what you have available to you. Next is the upright row. Again, this can be done with dumbbells, you can do it with a barbell, you can do it with a cable, you can do it with a kettlebell. Same movement, just personal preference and alternatives for how you might want to do that. Next is a pull through. This is requiring stability of the arm that you're holding your body with, but also you're activating the shoulder with the arm you're pulling through. And then you can swap each side as you do this. A really nice one with a dumbbell or a kettlebell is called a halo, where you're bringing the dumbbell around the head one way and then back around the other way. One you might not have tried, but it's a really good one, either for rehab or a finisher in the gym, is something called a stick climber. This is basically where you hold your arms out straight in front, head height, don't let it dip below that, and you're just letting the stick run through and back up. If you want to make this harder, use a heavier bar or add weight to it. Next, you can even work on combined variations of these. So something like going into a front raise and then round into a lateral raise and back down. You can't really do this with a cable, but you can do it with dumbbells. You can also do it with bands as well, and that's going to hit all of the heads because you also have to pull apart like the rear delt fly as well. So a very nice one to add in to hit everything. But you will probably go quite light on this, and again, nice as a finisher or really good for some rehab work. And next, a very important one which often gets missed in most shoulder stuff, unless it's rehab, is the rotator cuff movements. Again, you can do this with a dumbbell, you can do it with a cable. You want to be going outside, so an external rotation, but you can also do it inside with an internal rotation. Even if you don't have any pain and you're not rehabbing the rotator cuff, getting in the habit of actually activating this before you do a shoulder workout or you're going to be using your shoulders is really good practice to do. Just a couple of reps really, you can do it as shown in some of these exercises, but it's a really nice thing to add in and very good for your shoulders long term. And if you could possibly want more than all of those variations to try, then do check out our short that we've done on shoulder instability, which has even more options that you can use. Please help support this channel. If you could subscribe, give us a like and all that, it'd mean a real great deal to us to help build the channel. And we will see you on the next one.